hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
One thing that has always intrigued me about Keke Palmer is that she seems like an old soul. Like you could feel her vibe just radiating through the screen. And no, this is not a parasocial relationship. It's just the character she portrays seems wholesome. She's always smiling, she speaks her mind, she's very funny, and she has a strong personality. She just seems like a very secure woman. And it's crazy because I've been watching Keke on my screen since I was a kid. And to see her now become a mother, I think I'm getting old. But even though she's been in the industry for so long, her accomplishments are starting to become appreciated. Her resume runs long, and she has been graced as the first black title in more than one project in the industry. And as a black woman myself who has goals, I see her journey as such an inspiration for myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of women of color do also. Like, baby, this is Keke Palmer. Keke has been in the game so long, getting her first acting role in 2004's Barbershop 2, when Keke was just 10 years old. Her mother getting a minivan and driving 4 days to LA just to help Keke launch her acting career. All while potty training her 2 twin boys and watching over Keke and her sister on the way there. That's some dedication, and it's one of the moments that Keke will never forget because it was just the start of her newfound life. Keke stated, "I felt like me and my family were following the yellow brick road. Everything that I was dreaming was actually happening. You know, as a child, everything is like a fairy tale to you. Everything is so magical. I remember riding in a car, and when we got there, it was everything I wanted. We were all together as a family. I was doing something that I loved. My parents were supporting me. They believed in me. I had no worries." And with each stepping stone came a bigger one. In 2006, Keke got her first starring role next to 2 big-name actors, Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne in Akeelah and the Bee, which I can definitely say is a classic.
It's never the same again. I think it would be Akeelah and the Bee. It was my first leading role, carrying that much responsibility, working with such amazing and profound actors such as Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne.
They laugh because you intimidate them.
It's shaped the trajectory and path of my life. And I remember the audition was so many people in the room for those auditions, you didn't even think to yourself, how are they gonna even remember the kid that they possibly want?
And I saw 1 winner and 200 losers.
I remember Angela in this particular scene, I had to cry and I was not giving the emotion. And I remember Angela, she just looked at me and she said, everybody has stopped everything to help you do what it is that you love to do. Now just imagine if they all said, no more, and they were no longer going to support you. How would that make you feel? And I immediately just started to cry. The emotions came and I was able to nail the scene. But when I look back on that, she was teaching me how to hone it on in.
It really shows at such a young age the appreciation that Keke had for her craft. Being so young and inspired by the people around her, she just listened and took mental notes from the best. That part being the reason that she won her first NAACP award. Then you have True Jackson VP, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. But for some reason, it always felt like a distant memory for me. Even though it ran for 3 seasons, I don't recall them having reruns for the show or promoting it like crazy. But the fact that it even existed was enough for me. The show is Nickelodeon's first show with a black lead. True is in school and became the youngest VP for a fashion company. The show allowing Keke to earn a $20K per episode salary, and at the time was the 4th youngest highest paid child star on television, and also had her own True Jackson inspired fashion line at Walmart. The show had a positive light and was a very impactful show for viewers, as stated by Keke. In the midst of reboots happening for kids to teen shows like iCarly, Keke has hinted herself that there was possibly a True Jackson reboot in the works, which she hinted several times about it. In April 2020, Keke shared a video of herself dancing to the show's theme song, captioning it, "When they canceled True Jackson VP prematurely just to reboot it in 2021, then stating in 2021 in the Chicks in the Office podcast that there's a good chance that the show will make a comeback. There hasn't really been any more recent updates about it, but if it does come back, I'm sure the fans will be very excited. But not only has Keke strutted on a Nickelodeon set, but also Disney, being one of the few stars that have the best of both worlds when it comes to the top TV networks for kids. Keke had a leading role alongside Corbin Bleu, the star of High School Musical, in one of my fave movies, Jump In. And when it comes to the soundtrack, y'all, if you know, you know. The movie came out in 2007 when I was 7, so best believe I was tuned in. But if you haven't seen it yet, it is a great Disney movie, definitely not one of the corny Disney movies, so I highly recommend it. but it is one of the staple old Disney movies. As Keke progresses in Hollywood, she continues to break barriers as she becomes the youngest talk show host in television history, when she landed her own BET talk show called Just Keke in 2014 at just 21 years old. The show premiered Monday through Friday after 106 in Park and only lasted one season. The talk show was a space for Keke to speak to the younger generation about pop culture, dating, sex, and fashion, also including celebrity interviews. Whew. And the accolades just keep coming in. And not only that, she's also the first actress to play Cinderella on Broadway. Like, can we clap for Miss Keke, please? She's doing anything and everything to rightfully succeed. But if I went into detail of all her accomplishments, we'd be here all day. But when it comes to Keke, she is a workaholic, starring in numerous Tyler Perry productions, box office movies, hit TV shows, biopic movies, and voiceover acting. All her roles, she received praise for her performance and is a continued force to be reckoned with, all while adding her hosting skills to the list. While her talk show did end, it didn't stop from there. She also co-hosted Good Morning America alongside Michael Strahan and Sarah Haynes. Because of COVID, it did end prematurely, but not without recognition, because she did win an Emmy for her co-hosting skills, hosting red carpet events like the VMAs, game shows like The Password, and Legendary. She has had her hands in many different parts of the industry, but Keke is very multi-talented. Singing in a choir at the age of 5, she was able to develop her voice at a very young age. From being on Broadway and releasing the first debut album in 2007 titled So Uncool, although her music career didn't receive the same success as her acting, she can still hold a serious note. She does have a song that I highly admire called Reverse Psychology, which you guys should check out, but she does still have EPs and mixtapes to her name that deserve some recognition. Her music career did inspire her to continue growing and be her own boss, even starting her own record label called Big Boss Entertainment. I feel like we could build something new. I've always been the kind of person to find a new way of doing things. Big Boss Entertainment and my label is just another part of me trying something new. I want to empower my peers so they always feel they're not a part of the old way of doing things and be a part of the big bosses. Big Bosses is about me helping expand and using what I know. I'm not always going to be Keke Palmer the entertainer, but it's meant for me to get outside and move to the forefront. That's what I'm building towards. I feel like people today, talking in terms of ownership for our people, are always wondering how do we make ownership happen for us. As young people, we're the creators and innovators of the culture as we build things up. But then we sell it off for some change. But it's never going to amount to what it could be in the long run. That's what I really noticed. I want to be an example to others and have ownership over your things. Become a partner. It's about patience. This costs a lot of money to invest in yourself. I took all my money I've made with acting and I put it towards my music. Taking the time to curate and tell her story with her very own documentary titled Big Boss. The documentary including childhood clips and highlighting the ups and downs of her music career. Released March of this year. Keke described the documentary as a collection of different vibes that represent who she is as a woman coming into herself. The film is accompanied by an album. We usually hear about child stars having scandals and or mishaps in their career, which is pretty normal, but we're all human. But Keke seems to be very unproblematic. There's no actual negative press to her name. She doesn't need any type of gimmicks or press that will cause negative attention to her name because she maintains relevance through her work and through social media. Keke is a walking meme, so her tone, comical appeal really draws people to her.
Lord, this is a great conversation. Wrong scenario. Wrong scenario. This doesn't have anything to do with this. What you don't know? You don't know. Wait a minute, because I let you talk. You don't know Revlon's life. We don't know what they've been through. One fight and one person's struggle does not trump another. And I love Machiavelli, but the storyline for me has run stale. That's not fair to the competition.
I don't get that.
Lord, you're just so tired. It has nothing to do with the love I have for y'all. And in the words of my late great hit, keep it moving.
You ate that. Made this tweet. All the girls look like this in high school could suck a mean dick. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, ma'am, not to be disrespectful or rude, but could you please take post down? That is my sister who was killed by a metro train. This post is very disrespectful. I don't know who you are or if you even know her, but I need you to take this down, please. Baby, this is Keke Palmer. This is motherfucking Keke Palmer. Please have a good day.
And for a brief period of time, she was known for her catchphrase that also got a lot of buzz online, and it was funny in a way to see Keke's personality.
Why,
Why, girl?
Well,
Because the gag is you wasn't there.
Well,
Aside from everything, Keke is now a mother to a baby boy, Leotis Andrelton Jackson, that she had with her partner Darius Jackson. In December of 2022, Keke hosted SNL for the first time, where she announced her pregnancy, giving birth months later. But motherhood is not stopping Keke. In September of 2022, Keke launched her Key TV. Keke has a mind that wants to do any and everything, even if she has to build it from the ground up. Keke joined forces with her friend Lenoria Addison, an entertainment executive and former producer at the Awesomeness television network, using her skills and relationships in the industry to put together a business plan and receiving a $500K investment. This is what Keke had to say about the project. Lenoria just walked me through with her skills from being a producer at Awesomeness, my skills as a creative and producing some of my own stuff, and then my mother's skills putting everything together with my career over the last 20 years. We all bit by bit just started chipping away and then reaching out to people we knew that were looking to get their projects made on this type of scale. Keke has stated that the network is geared towards the youth like millennials and Gen Z, and creating a space mostly for people of color to fully express themselves and feel included.
I learned how to be a director. And cut! But most importantly, I learned how to be a collaborator. And I want to share everything I learned with you, because this is my greatest dream of all. All it takes is one of us to unlock a door, to unlock a million doors for each other. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Key TV, where our stories matter and where we are represented as the keys to the culture.
Keke, being a writer, director, and executive producer, she truly is a jack of all trades, and I commend her for creating a stepping stone for the culture and becoming an inspiration for women of color.
Yeah, you know what my mom did? She really told me, I remember one of these quotes that she gave me. She said, never let other people's perception of you be your perception of yourself.
I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Toodles!